Hello and welcome to Kit Plays Hiveswap Friendsim Volume 16. That's right, Volume 16, just a few more left. Let's get this going. Yes, the clown. Volume 16 of Cult and Captivation. You crash landed on Alternia 16 long episodes ago, and sometimes you feel like you've been here forever. There you are. You've had many adventures and met many Alternians, some slash all slash none of whom have become your friends. But now, for some reason, you have a hunch that you're near the end of your Alternian travels. Oh, for one thing, you seem to be coming to the edge of the populated region you've been walking through all the time you've been here. For another, the intense craving that has animated you throughout your journey feels like it might be waning. It's not quite gone, but like a diner who's stuffed himself to bursting but is still seeking that last sweet morsel that will make his meal complete, you're still on the prowl for the very sweetest morsel of friendship. We got Fazer and Marvis. Yeah. I don't know about voices, man. Voices. Buff clown indeed. Yeah. I know, but I'm not good at a country bumpkin. But we're doing it anyway. Here we go. The night has turned foggy and you can't see far in any direction. But you seem to be surrounded on every side by bare ground, hummocked and pitted almost like a weird, abstract sculpture and covered with greenish moss. Did you? Well done. Based on the experiences you've had with Alternian flora, you imagine the moss is probably poisonous, acidic, explosive, or something of that nature. Suddenly, a shadow looms up out of the darkness, making you jump. But it's only a leaning signpost. As you move closer, you can see that the sign says, "Welcome to Happy Absence Pit Park." Nice. Before you can figure out what that might be, you hear a voice muttering to itself in the fog, and a sound like dirt being shoveled. Shovel, shovel, toil and trouble, low bloods of the world unite! You move cautiously toward the voice until the figure of a troll emerges from the fog. He seems to be digging in the hard, bare ground. There's a tide in the affairs of trolls, which, taken at the flood, leads on to the workers' paradise. You clear your throat and the troll turns swiftly. Who's there? Who's there, I say? You announce soothingly that you're just a poor wayfaring stranger. Oh, that's a song reference. That's a song reference, and now I want to sing, but I'm not gonna. Not a ghost or any nonsense like that? You confirm that you are not. Good, because I don't believe in them. I'm a dialectical materialist. Well, if you're not a ghost, who are you? Ah. What is the name of that song? It is literally called Wayfaring Stranger by Johnny Cash. You explain that you're a humble alien who recently, well, not so recently, landed, well, crashed, on Alternia, and who's been looking ever since for. Here you blushingly trail off into a mumble. He does look like he's gonna vibe check us with the shovel. The troll snorts and comes close to study you. His breath is not of the freshest. Bonk. An alien. Well, you are the color of cheese. But it could be makeup. You could be a high blood in disguise, come to watch poor little Father Velius pursuing his humble profession of pit perturber for some unknown reason of your own. That is a face. That is a face. I don't know how I feel about that face. I don't know how I feel about those arms either. He did. Fazer rubs at the exposed skin of your arm to see if the makeup will come off. It doesn't, but he's still suspicious. A real alien would know what outer space is like. Describe outer space to me. You describe attack ships on fire off the shoulder of Orion, and watching sea beams glitter in the dark near the Tannhauser Gate. You express the belief that all those moments will be lost in time like tears in rain. These authentic depictions seem to satisfy Fazer. He nods his head and seems to think. He doesn't appear to be a fast thinker. Finally, he seems to have an idea. Do the cheese entities where you come from have a strong consciousness of class struggle? You have no idea what he's talking about, but you are always good at guessing the right answer on multiple choice tests. You assure him that the people where you come from have such a strong consciousness of class struggle that they use it to jack up their cars when they get flat tires. God. A big smile overspreads Fozer's face and he pumps his fist in the air. Pleased to meet you, comrade alien. All power to the workers. I imagine that finding me performing the honest labor of the working class makes you feel right at home. You assure him that it does. I suppose that you wish you could share in the simple proletarian joys and sorrows of the Alternian oppressed classes. You're not sure what proletarian means, but sharing joys and sorrows sounds like a hopeful prelude to friendship. So you say you were just thinking that you would like to share that kind of joys and sorrows. I can talk. I can. Easily done, comrade. Here, take this soil perturbation lance. You can enter into solidarity with the Alternian working class right now. Now, don't thank me. Freedom, brotherhood, and equality is my motto. Conduct your perturbations right here, if you please. Points to where he was shoveling, and you begin shoveling there too. The moss that covers the ground is tough as leather, and the Alternian soil is rocky, hard, and unforgiving. No surprise there. And before long, you're sweating profusely, but no exertion is too great for the pursuit of friendship. Fazer watches you labor with brotherly satisfaction. Class solidarity is a wonderful thing, isn't it? From each according to his ability to each according to his need. You look like a walking cheese, but your muscular development is impressive. So just to pass the time while you labor in solidarity, what do you think of our planet? What has been your impression of it on your visit from outer space? This one gets interesting. So here we are, starting with you suppose. It's no worse than a lot of places, with some good points and some bad. As a guest, it's only polite to say nice things about your host's home planet. Besides, meeting Foster has stoked your desire for a sweet friendship morsel, and a little praise and flattery often goes a long way to make people like you. So, with the little breath you have left to spare from your digging, you tell Foster that you found Alternia most interesting. The fierce rush of life here induces a salutary wakefulness, and boredom is virtually unknown. It does. That's my thought too. Good end last always feels more satisfying. Also, the social structure arising from the hemospectrum and the multidimensional relationship matrix is very unusual, producing a fascinating array of possible interactions among people. You're looking forward to the day when you can tell your grandchildren about it. But Fozer doesn't look as pleased as you'd hoped. So you find Alternia agrees with you. Oh yes, very much, you pant. You find it interesting and fascinating. Definitely. To you, the spectacle of those who happen to have been born with certain blood colors, exploiting and oppressing those who have not, is just a picturesque detail. Well, you wouldn't go so far as to. You find nothing objectionable in a society where the strong kill the weak at will, based on nothing more than the color of a bodily fluid, where the upper classes see the lower as little more than inanimate objects whose only purpose is to serve them, where the whole corrupt society is structured solely to breed cannon fodder for a psychotic empress's mad plan to conquer the entire galaxy, more peoples to oppress. That certainly wasn't what you. While the streets run with rust orange and gold blood, you stand unconcernedly and remark how interesting and fascinating Alternia is. While the fish people and their bluish lackeys strike the pap from the mouths of low blood wrigglers, you smile pleasantly and remark how unusual Alternia is. Certainly not. But one can't judge other cultures by one's own. Oh, you can't dodge your class responsibility that way, you cur. You so called intellectuals try to hide your fun and servility to the bosses by pretending to view society objectively without moral judgments, when all the time you're simply crypto-imperialist lapdogs. And you come to the Happy Absence Pit Park pretending solidarity with the oppressed. Shaw, I see now that you're nothing but a cat's paw of the oppressor class. Nothing but a cheese-colored Judas Iscariot, sent as a spy, traitor, bootlicker, sycophant, murderer, monopolist, profiteer, slave trader, cannibal, parasite, technocrat, gangster, ectoplasm. No, no, you try to object, but Fozzer seizes the shovel from you and turns away. Turncoat, narc, double-crosser, weasel, hijacker, vulture, Visigoth, breathalyzer. Sorry, just breathalyzer. Uh, you watch his back recede into the fog, your heart sinking with the wreck of your hopes and dreams for friendship. Game over. Breathalyzer. Oh. Oh, that's great. It is by far the worst place you've ever seen or heard of. The feeling comes over you suddenly that nothing can be more important than truth. Truth is at the foundation of all real friendship. Truth sets you free. Honesty is the best policy. So you take a deep breath and say that you hope you won't give offense, but that, in your opinion, Alternia is the nastiest, ugliest, cruelest, most inhospitable, and most unfair place you've ever seen or heard of in a long life of travel and study. Even the plants are bloodthirsty. Even the soil is hard and mean. You've made some, many, no friends here, but you've heard it's also possible to make friends with lions, bears, killer whales, and other wild and dangerous creatures. In fact, often here on Alternia, you've felt that you've been locked in a cage with a bunch of such wild and dangerous creatures. As you've talked, you've been watching Fozzer anxiously for signs of anger. You're surprised to see that instead, he seems to be loving it. And what about our political system? You've already put your foot in it, so you go ahead and put the other one in too. You express the opinion that a violent, rigidly stratified, insectile social structure created solely to generate soldiers for a mad project to conquer the entire galaxy might raise eyebrows in some quarters. You admire natural selection and survival of the fittest as much as the next person, but this is overkill on a titanic scale. Oh, he's bouncy. He bouncing. He bouncing. As you've been speaking, Fozzer's smile has grown wider and wider. He's shown other signs of approval, such as jumping up and down and whirling around. He pumps his fist in the air. Forward to perfect socialism. It's so good to talk with someone who hasn't been hypnotized from regularhood with counter-revolutionary pap. Someone who sees conditions on Alternia for what they really are, who sees the evil of the high bloods. We're all excited for Clown. Someone who will march in the vanguard of the workers' revolution to face unflinchingly the onslaught of the aristocracy, perhaps, nay, probably, to die in the hail of bullets, but never turn their back on the people. Oh, let me embrace you, comrade alien. That's a smile. That's a smile. Look at that smile. Still don't know how to feel about those arms. He does so. He's oily and smells like mossy soil and pore ooze. But this does not dampen your spirits. What better preamble for making the suggestion of friendship? Agreeing with people about politics never fails to bring friendship closer. But before you can bring it up, Fozer, having first kissed you on both cheeks, continues. But we mustn't allow our celebration of people's revolution to interfere with honest labor that ennobles us. I'm holding you back from your ticket to the workers' paradise. Please proceed with your soil perturbation. All power to the people. Death to arbitrary hemospectral discrimination. Forward, comrade! He waves his hand with a flourish, and you start digging again. You wonder if it would be just as revolutionary if you traded places so Fozer could do the digging and you could do the speechifying. But you don't wish to disturb the perfect harmony now existing between the two of you. Instead, you use your little available breath to inquire what all this soil perturbation is in aid of. Why, a coal pit, of course. Didn't you see the sign? This is the Happy Absence Pit Park, Fozervelia's proprietor. Alternia's reactionary tradition is just to dig coal pits anywhere without a second thought, but our revolutionary future demands that we have more respect for the dead. So I've created this wonderful innovation, the pit park. He's made a cemetery for mass graves. That's what he's done. There's a clown concert being held not far from here, so I anticipate a brisk demand shortly. Best to be ready for these things. Having a lot of dead clowns lying around rotting on the property is unpleasant, not to mention unsanitary. Get them underground pronto is our motto here at the Happy Absence Pit Park. That's a face. You're wondering privately whether a little class solidarity wouldn't be extended to Purple Bloods, remembering your dear friend Caraco Pierrot, when Fozer seems to give a jump. Nope, that is not ghosts. Yes, the baby boy. The cute baby clown boy. Grateful for an excuse to stop digging, you turn to look in the direction Fozer is staring, leaning on your soil perturbation lance. You don't see anything but fog. You ask, what is not ghosts? Nothing is. I'm a dialectical materialist, and if any ghosts come around the Happy Absent Pit Park, they should be aware that I don't believe in them, so they might as well go somewhere else. You confess that you don't see anything but foggy darkness and humped and pitted ground, where you now guess piles of cold Alternians' exoskeletons are buried in the coal pits. You don't see any ghosts because there's no such thing, but the past few nights I thought I saw beams of light shining up out of the ground, almost as if metaphorically metaphorically poured. Some of the exoskeletons in the coal pit had gotten a hold of some flashlights and were shining them up through the chinks in the soil. Look, there it is again. This time you see it. A column of light that flashes up through the fog and is gone, seemingly to come from a crack in the ground, which it briefly illuminates in blinding white. Fascinated, you move toward the crack, which is now dark and invisible again. What are you doing? You look at Fozzer in surprise. He seems terrified. You ask tactfully whether he doesn't think you ought to see what it is. For example, it could be some infrastructure malfunction that could blow the Happy Absence Pit Park and all its inhabitants, living and dead, sky high. You're not even sure they have infrastructure in Alternia, but one can't be too careful. Well, maybe you're right. We are fearless revolutionary cadres, after all. You can hear his teeth chattering. You move toward where you think the flash came from. Fozzer close behind you, peering over your shoulder. You can't help wondering where he'll be when the vanguard of his revolution is braving hails of bullets. You very much hope that his revolution, if it ever comes, won't happen while you're around. I really love this background. I really do. It's creepy. Yup. Just then, a whole series of lights flash silently up from the ground, making columns through the fog. Fozzer jumps and howls behind you. Yeah, that is a lot of blood. Non-existent! You tell him there's undoubtedly a logical explanation, though you have to admit that you have a weird feeling just now when the lights appeared. Like a momentary dizziness, or feeling of discontinuity. But you're more curious than ever now. Murmuring comforting things to Fozzer, you start digging right around where the lights you just saw came from. And it's weird, because you break through some kind of thin crust, as if the soil in that particular place is just a few inches thick over a brittle surface that your shovel goes right through like old pottery. Oh yeah, he's scared. You wonder whether you've inadvertently dug into an old coal pit. But what would bright light be doing coming out of an old coal pit? And in some weird way, it doesn't feel like a coal pit. It feels like something metaphysical, like reality itself is particularly thin right in that spot, and you've broken through the very fabric of it with your soil perturbation lance. You dig around the edges of the hole, enlarging it until it's about a foot wide. You guys ready for this? The darkness within makes the darkness of the Alternian night seem bright by comparison. It's so dark that the soil falling into it, and the part of your soil perturbation lance poking into it, seem to vanish completely, as if on the other side of that hole, reality itself gives out. You and Fozzer stare curiously down into this hole. Suddenly, a blinding but strangely blank light bursts up out of the hole into your faces. And at the same time, there's a deafening sound, which seems to vibrate the very framework of reality, like a giant needle scratching on a giant record. A gigantic needle scratching on a gigantic record. Grrrr. You're standing in the foggy night holding a soil perturbation lance that has been handed to you by Father Velius. He points to where he's just been digging, and you begin digging in the same place. The moss that covers the ground is tough as leather, And the Alternian soil is rocky, hard, and unforgiving, no surprise there, and before long you're sweating profusely. But you feel strange, like you were just standing somewhere else, doing something else, seeing something else. The after images of a blinding light and a deafening sound seem to linger in your eyes and ears. But around you is nothing but dark fog and bare ground, humped and pitted. You must have had a dizzy spell. You shake it off and begin to perturbing the soil. No exertion is too great for the pursuit of friendship, after all. Fuzzer watches you with satisfaction. Honest work is a wonderful thing. All hail the old regime, eh? You look like a walking cheese, but your muscular development is impressive. What do you think of our planet? What has been your impression of it on your visit? It's by far the worst place you've ever seen or heard from. The feeling comes over you suddenly that nothing can be more important than the truth. Truth is at the foundation of all real friendship. Truth sets you free. Honesty is the best policy. I told you this one was freaky. So you take a deep breath and say that you hope you won't give offense. But in your opinion, Alternia is the nastiest, ugliest, cruelest, most inhospitable, and most unfair place you've ever seen or heard of in a long life of travel and study. Even the plants are bloodthirsty. There is no time player involved, I will tell you that. There is no time player involved in this. You're getting those vibes, and I can understand those vibes, but that's not what's going on. Oh, you should be scared. You should be scared. Even the plants are bloodthirsty. Even the soil is hard and mean. You've made some, many, no friends here, but you've heard it's also possible to make friends with lions, bears, killer whales, and other wild and dangerous creatures. In fact, sometimes here on Alterni, you felt that you've been locked into a cage with a bunch of such wild and dangerous creatures. No doubt you could have anticipated that blunt honesty like this would give offense, and indeed it seems to have done so. As you finish your remarks, Foster is frowning darkly. So you come to Alternia as an uninvited guest, only to criticize and judge our civilization, eh? No, no. You know enough about our society, our billions of years of evolution, and our painstaking rise from mud-dwelling insectile ancestors, the political and sociological theories of our statesmen, philosophers, and scientists to make those judgments, do you? Well, no doubt you've done studies establishing what would happen if the hemospectrum groups were placed in different relations to one another. If, for example, rust bloods were the highest group and fuchsia bloods the lowest. Well, no, but I suppose your planet is so similar to Alternia that you have a firm basis on which to apply your preconceptions to us. Yeah, you should be confused. It is a bit confusing at this point. It will become quite clear later on. But that's in a few streams. Not at all, but. And surely you aliens are similar enough biologically and physiologically to trolls to know how we feel about our own society. I thought not. I guessed from the very first that you were nothing but a dilettante faux socialist pseudo-intellectual spouting your ivory tower theories without the least idea what you were talking about. Well, smarty pants alien, I suggest that you take your cheese-like person and your fairies home to your planet. It won't be long before her most high imperial condescension conquers your arm of the galaxy so the we Alternians can return the favor by standing in judgment over your society and politics. Oh yes, very big words for a dirt boy. In the meantime, I bid you good siderium. And with that, Foster Velius seizes his soil perturbation lance, as well as your hopes and dreams, and stalks off into the foggy night. Game over. Are we confused yet? Rip. Only some of us. You suppose it's no worse than a lot of places, with some good points and some bad. As a guest, it's only polite to say nice things about your host's home planet. Besides, meeting Fazar has stoked your desire for a sweet friendship morsel. And a little praise and flattery often goes a long way to make people like you. Shush. I haven't gotten very far in Pester Quest. Shush. No spoipers. Be like Roxy and just shut those whipper pips. So, with the little breath you have to spare from your digging, you tell Fozer that you found Alternia most interesting. The fierce rush of life here induces a salutary wakefulness, and boredom is virtually unknown. Oh, I will definitely be doing Pester Quest. But next is off. Next is off. Once I am done with this, I'm doing off. We are doing off. Right? Right? I will. Also, the social structure arising from the hemospectrum and the multidimensional relationship matrix is very unusual, producing a fascinating array of possible interactions among people. You're looking forward to the day when you can tell your grandchildren about it. As you're speaking, a satisfied smile overspreads Fozier's face. I'm glad you recognize the nobility of our ancient society, with its orderly hierarchy and naturally evolved degrees of privilege, reflecting naturally evolved degrees of ability. You're pleased that your words have met with approval, but you're still a little troubled. Yee. I'm very excited about it too. We're gonna have to do some screen tests because I've never uh, had someone on stream with me before. So, we're gonna have to schedule that. You have an odd deja vu sensation that this whole exchange could have gone quite differently. Maybe even did go quite differently sometime in the past or in some parallel universe. Yeah. You inquire timidly whether the total domination of the lower bloods by the higher on Alternia doesn't sometimes feel like oppression. Never. I myself am only a rust blood, so I lack the privileges of the higher bloods. But the most important thing for a society is that everyone should be in their appointed place and do the things they're suited for. Oh, yeah. We should do that sometime. If all the passengers in a rowboat keep their seats and row in the same direction, the boat will quickly reach its destination. But if the passengers all jump up and start running around and grabbing the other's oars, the boat will capsize and all will be lost. Yeah, you remark diplomatically that Alternia isn't a rowboat rowing towards a destination. You're wrong. The planet is very much like a rowboat advancing through the black water of space. As for our destination, all of us on Alternia aim at but a single goal every hour of every day to serve her most high imperial condescension in conquering her glorious galaxy wide empire. Long live the Empress! Well, you suppose the sense of being part of something larger than yourself makes up for a lot. It does. Long live Doc. I can agree to that. Yes. Aha. And naturally evolved systems are almost always more robust than artificially designed ones. They are. And it's true that Alternia's social structure does bring some semblance of order to a collection of 12 disparate troll subtypes. It is! Fozer beams at you fondly. There's nothing that warms the heart like someone who thinks you're right about everything. Well, we got a friend of mine from when I was going to community college. And we've got the best Dirk. And we've got a slew of other characters in one person. A slew. In excess of 30 accounts. Don't make me get the newspaper, man. I'll do it. Yes. That has been established. Let's see, off the top of my head. Carcat, Jane, Arania, rarely Equius, Stare. Shh. It's so wonderful to find someone, even someone who looks like a piece of cheese, who is so intelligent and understands society and politics so perfectly. Finally, a true friend. Victory! That was a very strange victory. It is. Jegus. So many. So many. All right. I am taking my midstream break. I will be right back. We got Sans Homestuck up in the chat. I will remind you. You son of a bitch. You. 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 Seriously pitch flirting with ED when Nep isn't around to do a damn thing. You son of a bitch. No fair. Yeah. Dirk bit Aridin. You son of a bitch. Oh. You dick. Was literally only taking the break this time to catch up on the freaking timeline. You. Sure. Man, RP shenanigans always happen when I'm streaming. Whoop. You didn't see that. I do not have a voice for our clown. Oh god, what do? I don't have the voice for the clown. I don't have the voice for the clown. I don't remember the voice I did for the other character that's gonna show up either. You dick. You find yourself ambling down the road without any particular destination in mind. Please make it two separate garbage cans. Two separate garbage cans. It seems you don't have much to do. You don't it but I can talk. But why with him? Come on. I don't actually have a problem with it. Of course it's ski. It seems you don't have to do much active searching to land yourself in varying combinations of adventure and or disaster. Where will the vicissitudes of fate lead you? Just grr. Who knows? You walk for a while like that. You've just about lost all hope of running into a wacky contrivance when your palm husk lights up with the delightful and or foreboding sound of friendship. Someone is calling you. I don't remember the voice I used. I don't remember the voice I used. Honestly, don't want to see this character at all. Do not want. Oh, excuse me. That is a little loud. Beta cuck incel voice. It does have the best ending for him. This is where he gets his best ending. You're less excited to see that the person who happens to be calling you is Zebra. It's not that you dislike Zebra precisely. It's just that you might struggle to rank him above literally any other troll you've met, including the yellow guy who loves genocide. But you're not one to leave a friend hanging. You dutifully answer the call. Ah, my good friend, you picked up. Awfully quickly, I might add. Yeah, you just love friendship. You ask Zebra why he's calling. Do I need a reason to call? Is the thrill of dialectical riposte not cause enough to make social contact with one of my dearest adversaries slash friends, or maybe more, depending on whatever you feel comfortable with and interested in at any given point in time? You have no idea how to even respond to that. Nah, I'm just fucking with you. I stand to incur material gain from your association. I need you to stay right where you are. Well, what are you gonna do? Hang up? You stand right where you are and stay on the line. You ask what Zebra is up to, but he won't say. Tells you he needs to concentrate. Eventually, you notice a strange shape resolving in the distance down the road, drawing nearer, slowly but steadily. After a while longer of waiting, the figure in the distance grows close enough for you to tell that it's Zebra. Oh, that's you say. It looks like he's riding on some kind of incredibly cursed hover Segway. Yeah, I'm coming, sweetie. Oh, God. Oh, I would give anything not to have said that in that voice. Duh. Ew. You would say it takes maybe 15 minutes or so for him to make it the entire way over on his hover scoot. There you are. Impressed by my new ride. Oh, you guys aren't doing. You. You. Thank you for making them separate. Oh, yeah, you say. You're very impressed. I knew you would be. I brought it out because tonight is a very special night. Or it will be if you be so kind as to make me the happiest troll on Alternia. He like proposing to you? What? Never mind. You ask him what he's vague blogging about. What indeed? The real question of what is, what are you doing this evening? Well, it's not like you've ever had any plans to do anything besides stupidly bumble into one ludicrous boondoggle after another. Seems like whatever he's alluding to inviting you to is probably fits the bill for being included in your long itinerary of unspecified dumbass bullshit that you were bound to get embroiled in anyway. Ah. Fantastic. Well, it just so happens that I managed to get my hands on 2 tickets to Clownfest XX Rex. Such a simp. And I thought who better to take along than my dearest alien associate of unspecified nature. Get that face away from us. You have no idea what Clownfest XX Rex is, but it's not off to a good start with that name. Oh, I should have known you wouldn't be familiar with it. It's a little sophisticated for an off-world reprobate such as yourself. It's a music festival centered around purple blood performers. Now, normally I wouldn't trifle with high blood entertainment, disgustingly oppressive as it is. But when you think about it, aren't clowns the most disprivileged class of them all. This guy is making me want to punch my computer. Help. You don't ask him to explain what he means by that because everyone would be really angry reading it. Let's go find something else to do that sounds less fucking awful. Well, you can't say that the invitation isn't tempting. Going to a writhing gathering of violent gestures certainly sounds like a recipe for a stimulating time. But what if you didn't throw yourself blindly into obvious peril for once in your incredibly painful life? Pass. Oh. Zebra sighs heavily. He looks completely destroyed. Despite yourself, you feel a pang of guilt in your chest. I see. I guess that's fine. I'll just have to find someone else to facilitate my brush with greatness. What is that supposed to mean? You don't bother to ask. When you don't give in to his obvious guilting either, Zebra seems to accept his fate. Whatever. I can't believe I came all the way here on my hover scoot just to be callously rejected like this. But I guess I'll see you around, hotcakes. Zebra powers back up his little scooter, gearing up to go. When he tries to lean back so the machine will start heaving in reverse, something is wrong. The scooter just won't move, no matter how many times he slaps the control panel on the handlebars. You ask if it's broken. What? No, it can't be. It's brand new and was just working a minute ago. Maybe I'm in the wrong mode. Zebra hammers the buttons on the control panel a bit, with no luck. Damn, maybe it is the motors. So Zebra tries leaning forward to check it out. That's not the problem at all. In fact, as soon as he pushes his weight against the control stick, the scooter surges forward. It collides with your frail human body, knocking you to the ground, and there's too much momentum in the motion for Zebra to stop there. The jets underneath the scooter rake over your pummeled body, incinerating you and killing you instantly. You guys have to do shenanigans when I'm not there. Grr. Fine, you want the clown? Let's go get the clown. Agree to toss your meaty moral body into a clown pit to get moshed to death or whatever. I knew you'd be there for me. All right, let's go. Zebra invites you to hop onto the back of his scooter so you can head out to Clownfest. You say you're not sure this is the most effective avenue of locomotion. Zebra tells you it's all the rage and not to be a little bitch about it. So, let me tell you about a little about my plans for tonight. It feels like the scooter is going even slower than it was when he arrived, now that it's struggling under the weight of two people. You see, my favorite rhyme juggler on the planet is going to be there tonight. His name is Marvis Zalato. You might have heard of him, he's pretty famous. You say you've never heard of him, because you're an alien. Logan! Oh! Oh, right. Well, he's only the best in all of Alternia. He came up a few sweeps back when he won first place on Slam or Get Cold. Oh, please tell me you at least know about Slam or Get Cold. You know this is eventually going up on YouTube, right? Oh, with your comments and everything on the screen. Oh, shit. I will absolutely mark this as not safe for children. Just so you're aware. Oh. Yeah, good luck with that. You do not know about Slam or Get Cold. Well, it's a bi-sweeply reality program where aspiring slam poets compete to prove who has what it takes. It's really cutthroat stuff. I mean, there are at least 5 decapitations a season. The competition is about skill. No matter the blood color of who is competing, the troll who wins is the troll who has the nastiest flow and dopest bars. Everyone has an equal shot. I mean, sure, a high blood has won every season to date, but it's basic biology that clowns are better at rhyming than everyone else. Guys, I really want to punch this guy. I really want to punch this guy. Even if high bloods were low bloods, that would still be true. That's equality. Yeah, makes sense. You think this is really progressive stuff he's saying. Where could he have possibly gotten so educated and smart? No, see, I want to punch right now, which would mean punching my computer screen, and then that would not be good. I just got this thing for freaking Christmas. No. This guy's just cull bait. Oh, you flatter me. Anyway, as you know, I am deeply connected in the music industry. Because of oppressive hemospectrum systems, I'm afraid I'm only truly afforded downward mobility. The clown sphere is a really insular, close-knit community. But with the right hustle, I'm going to break that glass ceiling. Marvis is the perfect troll to bring me into the fold. You say this guy sounds pretty brutal. Are you sure you want to actually meet this clown? What, Marvis? Aha! I mean, sure, he does what he needs to survive in a rigidly ossified power system that could never be truly dismantled by the actions of a single individual. Do not, on my stream, go into that. Do not. That doesn't mean that he supports it. Contrary to what you might think, Marvis is a spectacularly subversive figure in the industry. If you listen to his music, really listen, you'll hear some borderline revolutionary stuff. I think he'd tear it all down if he could. I might have mentioned it, but being a clown is kind of woke. You just made me say that. Yeah. That's why I've always wanted to probe that think pan of his. Really get to the bottom of his radical praxis and help spread his message of social reform to the masses. And you're going to help me do it. After 4 hours of scooting and one excruciatingly detailed, unbroken account of the events of the past 3 seasons of Slammer Get Cold, you arrive at Clownfest XX Rex. Let's take a look here. So many clowns. So many clowns. Fago and juggling pins everywhere. Damn it, now I want Fago. Clownfest feels more like a circus than your idea of a music festival. In the distance is a wide open field dotted with disorganized masses of people, all gathered before a nightmarish stage you presume to be the site of the evening's main event. Hip! I'll be right back. Back to the clown. The entrance to the festival grounds opens up into something of a parking lot filled with whimsical tents and people selling various snacks and refreshments. You see a clown juggling what looks like at least 7 hot dogs. Absolutely ghoulish. You're glad Diamond isn't here to see this. Zebra brings you up to the gates, flashes your tickets, and gets you wristbanded and admitted to the festival grounds. Seems like there's still some time before the performance is slated to start. There are some spectators already gathered in the fields, but those of more privileged blood castes are lined up around the tents in the lot to buy food and merchandise. While you walk around the festival grounds, you ask Zebra what exactly he has planned. What could you possibly do to get him in good with clowns? Zebra takes it as an invitation to whisper conspiratorially in your ear. Oh god, no. No. That's an image I didn't want to. Ew. You can't see it, but I'm swatting the air next to my ear and it's just being, ew, no. Well, thank you, Will. His breath is hot and heavy against your hearing canal. No! I don't want that! Here's the plan, my sweet little rust drop. We get in, wait for the show to start. And then when Marvis comes onto the stage and really gets into his act, you're going to jump the barricade and rush the stage. Or at least you're going to try. Of course I'm going to stop you. I'll tackle you before you make it to the stage and I'll cull you right in front of Marvis and everybody. Oh, calm down. I'm trying to tear down the stereotypes that low-bloods are all simple-minded dullars, and you aren't doing your people any favors by reinforcing the cause for prejudice. Obviously, I'm not going to really kill you. You'll simply pretend to play dead after I've heroically foiled your black designs on Marvis. I want to punch this guy so bad. My actions will firmly place me within Marvis's Ashen Quadrant, so he'll have no choice but to recognize me. And then the clowns will see what a hero I am, and praise me, and bring me backstage to reward me. No. No, I don't. No, I don't. No. Maybe. I didn't get to fight the last one that showed up. I barely even got any interactions from them. Oh no, not right now! Come on! Come on! Not right now! Ugh. Good! I had to permit that term. It literally asked me to permit the term. I don't know. It's really a flawless plan, my dear. If you just do what you're told, nothing will go wrong. Yup. Before you can prefer any critique of this caper, the jovial clamor of chatting and revelry surrounding you is pierced by a rising chorus of blood-curdling shrieks. I don't know how to respond to that. That is fantastic. That impressive. You whip around to ascertain the source of the dreadful sound, but it becomes quickly apparent that those were not screams of pain at all. You know what's up when Zebra joins in with the ear-splitting squeals. Oh god. Oh god. Yeah, hold on just a moment. Just a moment. Alright. Here we go. You want Zebra to go away? You want Zebra to go away? It's high time for the best Zebra ending of the game. Let's get that good Zebra ending. Let's do it. We're doing it. Right the fuck now. That's him! There he is. There's our clown. Yeah. There's the clown. It's the man of the hour himself. An expensively dressed juggalo is making his way through the crowd, flanked by a robust team of hulking indigo bloods. Yeah, every aspect of him telegraphs unimaginable celebrity. The purposefully disheveled yet fashionable fit of his clothes, the swagger of his step, the 10-man camera crew trailing behind him. Yeah. You can look at the clown for a second. All right. He walks with a measured poise, despite the chaos rising around him. Dozens and dozens of young trolls are flinging themselves at his entourage without any apparent concern for their safety. The bodyguards are roundhouse kicking the eager teens into the ground left and right like a bloody blunder of adolescent aliens. Pure carnage. He really knows how to draw a crowd, doesn't he? Sigh. A minute ago, it was tough to truly grasp the hype. But after seeing him in person, you don't know what it is, but this swaggy clown has an undeniable gravitas that commands the attention of everyone around him. It's impossible to look anywhere else. Even the Alternian moonlight seems to endeavor to glint off his golden accoutrements twice as bright. But he's gone just as quickly as he arrived, up to the festival stage to set up his act. He leaves a bloody void in his wake. Zebra is bouncing off on the balls of his feet following the encounter. He clearly can't wait to get up into the pit, and to be honest, neither can you. What is it about a good clown that's so utterly irresistible? Zebra takes you up to the field spread out before the stage. There are thousands and thousands of trolls already standing around, ready for the show to start. From the looks of the crowds in the back, breaking down their tents, there have been rustbloods camping out for days to secure their spots. I'ma just make sure of this. But even those hard-won locations are much further to the back than where Zebra is leading you. There aren't many high bloods here by comparison, so Zebra is able to take you to walk right in, muscle past all the ceruleans and grab a spot by the barricade with maybe 5 minutes to spare before the show starts. There are some roadies up on stage now dashing around to finalize all the equipment arrangements. Oh shoot. And did you remember to bring your concert diaper? Excuse you? Zebra turns to you with wide eyes. You're awfully close together now, boxed in by the swell of trolls pushing your bodies closer and closer to the stage. You know, your concert diaper. You don't actually know. You don't have a single clue about your concert diaper. You ask him if he's wearing his concert diaper. He pats the front of his pants, which you notice are looking a bit plumper than usual. I didn't want that mental image. No! Of course. You can't just come to one of these things without your concert diaper. Things in the pit can get pretty intense, bro. And you can't leave to use the load giver after it starts. Man, you're really going to regret not bringing your concert diaper. So is everyone around us. Ugh. Is exactly what it sounds like. A diaper you wear to concerts. Before you can even attempt to formulate a response to that, the crowd breaks into thunderous cheering. Your heart skips a beat as you look up. But of course, the clown who's clambering up to the center stage isn't him. Marvis is clearly too hot to blow on the first act. All the same, people are really fired up over this raggedy juggalo. He seems like a serviceable clown, you suppose. He's got enough gold chains in his response, reasonably swaggy. He gets bumping, drops a few bars. It's fine, you guess, but he's not your clown. You know the moment you laid eyes on Marvis that he was the only clown your heart would ever be able to see again. Zebra leans into your ear and has to yell to be heard over the sounds of the music in the crowd. Shh. I've never much liked Rapsta Slamsy's work, to be honest. Sure, the beats are produced well, but he has a very insipid sense of lyricism. Triz's clam this, Triz's indefatigable military might that. We get it, you want to harpoon the heiress. Who doesn't, honestly? We don't need to hear about it all day. I know somebody else who wants to harpoon an heiress. I just said that. Solid 15 minutes of mildly provocative slams later, and old Slamsy is slinking off backstage. As soon as he's gone, a new jester takes the fore. If you wanted to get into the music, it proves difficult. Every new act they bring onto the stage is immediately followed by a hollering earful of Zebra's scathing critiques. Right. You wonder why he's so fixated on getting in good with this gaggle of urban farceurs if he thinks so little of their technical and artistic merits to begin with. As you stand leaned sweatily against the barricade, you're starting to wonder if it's all worth it. Could the sight of a single rapping man really outweigh all the physical and psychic agony waiting and standing and stewing in the heat of the pit? Will you have just endured nearly 3,000 words of hanging out with Zebra for something that will ultimately let you down? But as the penultimate clown trundles off the set, the taste of the air changes. The lights on the stage go dark and the booming sound system goes quiet, and a tremulous hush falls over the crowd. You feel your heart stop in that silence. You know down to your bones that this is the moment you've been waiting for. From Sea Dweller to Rust Blood, nobody moves. The sound of his light footsteps against the darkened stage could only be audible to someone as close as you. The anticipation swallows you whole. When the floodlights snap back on and illuminate his astounding figure center stage, you feel it. Though yet of modest stature, the lanky juggalo has the presence of a man 1,000,000 feet tall. He radiates a power the likes of which you've never felt before. You feel him inside of you, intimately, religiously, indelibly. Yes, this is it. This is your clown. Then he opens his mouth to utter what feels like the most important words you've ever heard in your life. Hey. All hell breaks loose. Everyone is screaming around you. You grip tight on the barricade as you stare up at him, glowing, messianic, arms outstretched to drink in the zealous fervor of the crowd, all incited by a single, incredibly powerful word. Hey, God, you'll never forget it. What up, guys? Lol. You jugs ready to cook? I can't get a handle on a voice. I'm so sorry. This is not doing him any justice. You can't help it. You start screaming. You're so fucking ready. Lol, these buddies be baking beans. Shiz. Any of y'all forget your concert diapers because it's rank out there. You feel racked by shame. How could you forget your concert diaper? You'll never be so foolish again. But it's aight. I'ma freshen things up, you hear me? Zebra takes hold of your hand and squeezes it tight. You appreciate the gesture. God, he's so fucking beautiful. You understand. You feel deeply, utterly devastated to know how far out of your grasp he is. Why would a man like that ever even look at you? There's no way someone so tremendous, so magnificent, so extravagant would waste his time offering his friendship to someone as insignificant as you. I mean, that's fair. But, oh. But as desolating as that feeling may be, you aren't ready to put him out of your life just yet. Maybe there are other ways you can be close to him. Listen to his music, follow him wherever he goes, dedicate your life to him. You want to know everything about him that you can. Maybe in this way you can honor him, befriend him in your own heart, if not his. Is a love one-sided any less beautiful? When the music at last starts to blast through the speakers, you ascend. The pain in your legs and your back disappears. You feel nothing but streaming euphoria. You thank the forces of serendipity for guiding you to the glorious epiphany of this beatific singularity. The show's nothing to scoff at either. You, a highly discerning individual known to frequently make posts online regarding the quality of rap and whether or not those who purport to possess such ability to do in fact have the requisite bars, are fully blown away by the act. It's some really good stuff. He's just really going in hard and hot with those raps. Not that intensity's the sole barometric of the quality of hip-hop. Fire that Marvis is dropping is a broad contemporary performance that will equally satisfy any aficionado of any relevant subgenre. Not a single thing about him is even slightly racist. Ew! Go away! You're really starting to get into the zone when Zebra starts to scream in your ear again. You were already going deaf from the concert as it was. I think it's about time to get the show on the road, don't you? Are we ready for the best Zebra ending? We're ready for the best Zebra ending. Go along with Zebra's cowardly and nefarious plan to scam your beloved clown. Enraptured you may be with Marvis's magnificence, a promise is a promise, and you can't let Zebra down. You wait for the right moment and start to vault up over the barricade as quickly as you can manage. You clear the barrier and drop down into the gutter between the stage and the crowd. You're not sure where to go from here. You glance back toward Zebra for guidance. And the crowd has noticed what you're doing all right. The onlookers are swarming with rage at your insolence. Zebra makes his move. He starts to follow you up over the barricade, but things don't go as planned. Instead of heroically stopping you from making it to Marvis, Zebra is put upon from all sides by grasping claws. They don't recognize what Zebra is trying to do. They think he's just another conspirator trying to join you in your attempt at Marvis's life. Blue. You watch in stunned horror as the two trolls closest to Zebra take hold of each of his arms and dig in their claws, and rip them right off. And they don't stop there. You barely have time to process what's happening until another pair of trolls descend, helping to tear ruthlessly into Zebra's body. His screams don't even register over the booming of the sound system. Fountains of indigo blood spray hot into the humid air. The barricade and the ground are all around you are drenched in your friend's gore. You're frozen where you stand in that arid gutter between heaven and hell. This isn't how it was supposed to go, is it? You feel the inevitable press of entropy closing in. The trolls in the audience see you, and they've already had a taste of blood. Your legs are as stiff as rods as the carnage-caked trolls, who made short work of your friend, begin to vault over the barricade themselves. Seems pointless to run. You're stricken by a consuming sense of deja vu. You've made a mistake, and the universe is going to clean up your mess. The trolls drop down into the gutter with you and advance. You close your eyes and accept your fate. And then feel yourself being wrenched up onto the stage. Yo, what's up? You can't believe your eyes. Marvis, in all his majesty, has hoisted you up to safety on the grand stage. He's beaming at you with the most beautiful smile you've ever seen in your whole life. This development has certainly given the bloodthirsty crowd pause. Marvis turns to them with an unerring grin and shakes his head. Y'all out there trying to kill my buddy. Sometimes I swear my fans are bigger clowns than I am, lol. His adoring legion seems to find that very funny. You're starting to realize that you really should have brought your concert diaper after all. Now seems like there's been a big misunderstanding. This just be one of my backup dancers. Hey, hit it, cuz, show 'em what you got. He's helping you? You can't say you understand, but you're not about to look a sexy, gorgeous gift clown in the mouth. If Marvis wants you to dance for your life, you'll dance. You start going to town, flossing, shooting, whatever it is the kids are doing these days. A real contemporary breakdown. The crowd goes wild. Things are really starting to look up for you until a deafening crack sounds through the air. The stage equipment starts to collapse. It all happens quickly. The bolts of all the stage scaffolding burst out of their settings. The lights catch fire, and one of the massive 100-foot screens behind the stage comes loose of its moorings. You'd have been easily pancaked by the huge screen if not for Marvis expertly clown-stepping you and himself out of the way. Half the crowd isn't so lucky. The big screen shatters when it hits the stage, raining a 100-foot area of trolls with vicious glass. Shiz. Right when things were just getting started. But the sound equipment was all obliterated by the sudden collapse. Nobody can hear him but you. For a moment, your hero looks lost. Man, we better bounce, cuz. Marvis grabs you by your sweaty hand and runs. He takes you to safety in the performer's green room, which seems to be intact after the collapse of the stage, though the power's out. The room is filled with the clowns who'd performed earlier. They all look very confused and harried. Shit. Things gonna be a madhouse out there for a while, so better to just lay low for a little bit, I bet. We go out there right now, we gonna get mobbed. Usually everybody be dead at the end of my concerts. I wouldn't make it out of here without having to pale with 1,000 teens otherwise. You're a little rattled, to say the least. Marvis takes a good look at you. And fuck, man. You shiz yourself? You start to cry. You didn't bring your concert diaper. Aw, man, it's alright, don't cry. Look, you're hardly the first buddy to ever shiz theyselves at one of my concerts. I'm used to the smell. TBH, it's comforting. You sniffle and say, really? You wouldn't want to bring even the slightest inconvenience to his wonderful life. Yeah, I'll let it cook. Bring it in, Broheim. You bring it in. The two of you share a nice, malodorous hug. Hard for you to understand what's going on. Why did Marvis save you anyway? I saw you was hanging out with that blue bro, always trying to get his snuff shoot up me and my Jug's shiz holes. And then you trying to make a real run for me. Gotta say that's brave. Gotta ask a buddy where they got the bulge rods to try to pull a stunt like that. Yes, hugging him. Respect. Oh well, it wasn't really much of a stunt. You were just going along with your friend's ludicrous plan to try to scam him into a friendship under false pretenses. But it was a really bad plan, and your friend was killed on the spot immediately, and now you're pretty sure you're cosmically faulted to die due to making a non-canonical decision. What you mean, non-canon? All of this be non-canon, fam. What can it even mean to be non-canonical within the context of an inherently extra-canonical framework? Skeet brat. You're not sure, but you definitely have the sense that some of the decisions within the simulation carry greater values of truth and relevance than others, and that the linear progression of events is rigorously enforced by an obligate narrative flow that privileges those actions which most smoothly facilitate the designs of the story's architect. The designs of the story's architect. Sure, you can hear that noise that way, but I say you the architect of your own fate. Inspiring a sermon as Marvis may be spitting, his wise pontifications are interrupted when a clown in the back of the green room knocks over the water cooler. This gets the other clown who was talking to him really pissed, and they start duking it out. It starts a chain reaction that pulls all the other high bloods into a whirling blade picture of clown carnage. Man, what the fuck is going on? It's like you said, you've made a mistake, and it's the essence of the timeline, and the essence of the timeline won't rest until it's put things right. You can feel that it's happened before, and it'll happen again. Well, I'm getting the fuck out of here. Come on, troll Nostradamus, let's skeet scoop. Pie. Right there. Pie. That is a pie. Even as the inescapability of your demise consumes you, you can't bring yourself to deny him. You follow him out of the green room, fleeing before the clown fight can pull you in and grind you to bits. Out here, you're the one who has to help Marvis. In the open air, it's an unending procession of teens' quick time events. Some of them are carrying buckets. You just need to keep punching them out until you finally make it to his rich guy clown limo. That looks familiar. More pie! There's more pie. Pie! The driver's nowhere to be seen, so Marvis gets behind the wheel and you hightail it out of there. You stick your head out the window and look back. There's a nasty storm brewing in the distance. I know somewhere we'll be safe. You make sure to secure your seatbelt. After dodging at least 3 fallen trees, a wayward deer looses and a lightning strike that blasts the hood of the vehicle right off. Marvis brings you to Clown Church. Take me to Clurch. You can't say this place was high on your lists of venues you'd want to visit again, but this thing has a fucking budget. Whatever bullshiz power that's coming after you will have no reach here. This be hallowed ground, biznatch. Marvis leaves the limo on the lawn of the church, and you both hurry out. Just in time, because it explodes not 2 seconds after you're out of the door. By instinct, Marvis shields you from the fiery blast with his body. Oh no! Marvis, no, you beautiful soul! You're destroyed by guilt. How could someone so tremendous bring themselves to such harm for someone so meaningless as you? You drag Marvis's burn-scorched body into Clown Church, and you collapse as soon as you're past the threshold. You start weeping. Shiz, fam, I ain't dead, just a little toasty. You ain't gotta cry about it, goddamn. Oh, okay. He's sweating. Marvis sweats. You help him up and bolt the door behind you. He was right. You do feel safe here. Nothing is collapsing. Nobody is being stricken with a hysterical urge to start a fight. And there's not even a single fire happening anywhere. The mirthful messiahs be protecting us, buddy. Stay frosty, eh? You help Marvis over to sit down in one of the pews. You settle in next to him and gaze up at the imposing architecture. It's not all so bad. There's a beauty here. A beauty in being a clown, too, you're starting to see. Maybe you're even starting to believe? You turn to look at Marvis and his face is ashen and slick with sweat. Think that dip in the grill I had hurt a bit more than I thought. Thought. Your heart drops in your chest. You ask if he's going to be alright. As long as we stay in here, we aight. Can you really stay inside Clown Church forever? You know down to your bones that even if you do, it doesn't matter. It's something about the air. You can't really describe it. Everything just starts to press down, down, down. Like you, and everything around you is sinking implacably into the earth. But the ground is coming up to meet you too. You start to perspire. Pressure leaves you weak. You slump against Marvis's shoulder. You feel so insubstantial, like the entire concept of your existence is struggling to erase itself. You know this isn't something you can fight. What are you giving up just like that? You don't know what else you can do. This isn't how things were supposed to go. This isn't how things can be. You can't exist like this. It depends on what it means to exist, fam. Depending on how you look at it, every branch in the timeline be fundamental to the metatextual structure of the essence of existence itself. Even an incident that falls outside of the strict confines of canonical continuity contributes to a meta-consciousness that be built by and could even be said to be, at its most essential level, defined primarily by the extratextual exchange of interpretation by those who observe it. Each path a translucent fragment that, via mirroring or distorting or magnifying certain aspects of the ultimate reality, folds itself invisibly into the fabric of that reality. Itself immeasurable and intangible, but the space it once occupied indelible. The observation of irreality can still inform how reality is to be interpreted, even if that irreality doesn't satisfy even a cursory standard of legitimacy. And the act of contravening continuity can in itself provide definition to that very integrity it defiles. Even if what's going down here can't be said to be true, that doesn't mean we are meaningless. Turn up. You don't know about all that, but you tell Marvis you're glad he's here with you. Marvis smiles and puts his arm around your shoulders. In spite of it all, he makes you feel real. You stare into the effervescing panes of clown glass as they shift and scintillate in your vision. Things are coming apart at the seams. Subatomic concepts scream from the insides of your ears, and the infinity of pure dimension blossoms between the tenuous threads holding the essence of your being together. The terminality of paradox space reaches into you from the inside out and takes hold of reality in its inescapable grasp. Continuity inverts and cascades into cataclysmic fractal. What happens will happen, and what can't must not. And no measure of hubris from man or god or clown can stymie the cosmic imposition of truth. This is a non-canon timeline. It can't continue to exist. Even in Clown Church. You close your eyes for just a moment, but when you open them again, there's nothing to see at all. Time paradox. All right. One more. No fucking way. Are you kidding, you say? There's no way you're going to vault over that barricade and try to make an attempt on Marvis's life, fake or not. For one thing, that plan is fucking stupid and you'd immediately die. Second of all, Marvis is a beautiful artist with the soul of a true poet, and you're not going to help anyone attempt to exploit his celebrity for selfish purposes. You conclusively inform Zebra that he'll have to find someone else to help him hoodwink sweet Marvis. What's that? I can't hear you all over all the incredibly vicious and beautiful rapping. You tell Zebra that you're not doing it. You just want to listen to the rest of the concert and enjoy yourself. Zebra seems horribly taken aback. What? But I thought we were friends. You reassure Zebra that you are friends, but affirming a friendship doesn't necessarily require one to embark upon a ludicrous suicide pact in order to socially hornswoggle a rhythmically gifted Mary Andrew. You're hardly Thelma and Louise. Get real. You tell Zebra he needs to find someone else to help him cozy up to the clown's inner circle. Zebra harumphs, offended, and decides to go. He starts to push away through the crowd down the length of the barricade. And with that, you're free to turn your gaze back to his mirthful eminence and embrace the new peace you have found in his artwork. But Marvis only keeps distributing dope, and the crowd only gets rowdier. Before you know it, you find yourself being wrenched into the writhing mass, jostled about and subsumed by the transcendent power of the music. Your pitiful little body becomes nothing but a note in his wicked symphony, a raindrop washed away in the rapids. Some time ago, you might have accepted your fate here and allowed yourself to be trampled by the mob. But you have something to live for now. Even as you feel yourself begin to physically break, those sick beats tether you spiritually to the mortal world. His ruthless bars cut through the heat and the sweat and the heavy stench of piss and meat, drawing you like a sailor to the siren's song. Not even death could wrench you free of his grasp. In spite of the odds, you manage to muscle your way back up to the fore. You exit the mosh pit a shattered mess, bruised, battered, and broken, hanging on only by the most tenuous of threads. As you look around you, you get a glimpse of your fate. You're surrounded on all sides by trolls who have collapsed and been trampled dead, faces frozen in a rictus of ecstasy. Given how lightheaded you feel, you aren't long for this world either. But you can carry on a bit further, for him. Wow, he's really something else, that Marvis, you think, as your wasted body slumps against the barricade. It's all you can do to lift your weak head and stare up at him, drinking up his boundless audio-visual wonder, as your vision starts to blur and your consciousness begins to fade. You jerk back to your senses when you feel something splashing over your face. There you go. There you go. Enjoy that for a moment. You cast around wildly for the source of the water. To your disbelief, you see that it was Marvis. He's standing at the edge of the stage, gyrating his hips to the choreography as he looks down at you in concern. It's like staring into the groin of an angel. He waits for a break in his verse to cover his mic and mouth to you. Yo, buddy, you aight? Can't believe how gracious he is. To see a humble fan such as yourself in pain and stop to make sure you're okay. Is this real? Or have you passed into heaven after all? Your gaze tracks up from his well-proportioned crotch to the generous view offered by the plunging neckline of his shirt. You're all right now. You've never been more right in your life. Marvis jumps off the stage into that impassable purgatory that separates it from the pit, the gods from the mortals, and makes his way over to you. He stretches out his hands. I know, I love his jacket. It's fantastic. Hey, babe. Wanna dance? Your broken bones are no obstacle. Instinct propels you over the barricade and into his arms. He catches you like you've both been waiting your entire lives for this moment. You've never felt more warm or safe. He scoops you up with his incredible strength and carries you back onto the stage. Marvis is talking into his mic again, so his words reverberate through the entire field. Look what we got here. Seems like a fucking low blood cut to the front of the line, my friends. Lol. The remainder of the crowd that's still conscious boos viciously. What? What's happening? Oh, you're clearly bleeding red from being stomped in the face several times in the mosh pit. And in the murky lights of the stage, it looks awfully burgundy. Someone's been naughty. Oh, there's a look for you. Yes. Yes, you've been so naughty, you say into the mic. No remorse. For damn shame. The crowd jeers. Well, we clearly got a criminal on our damn hands. What you think I should do with him? Any opinions? The response is disjointed but still functionally unanimous. Amidst the clamor, one word keeps ringing out clearly. Because he's gotta be. He's gotta be. Kill! 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 Wow, y'all want me to kill him? Shit, that's brutal. Well, I ain't one to let down my fans, hear me? Justice be fucking done, my merry men. What better way to cap off a wicked night than with a little gutter blood shower? Lol. Well, you're hardly qualified to question Marvis's judgment. If what he wants is to publicly execute you in front of a crowd of his adoring fans, you guess that's how it has to be. I need to take a drink. You surrender completely as Marvis directs the stagehands to help him erect some sort of makeshift crucifix. You don't struggle as he carries you over and ties you up, suspended above the crowd. All the spotlights shine on you, burning hot. The audience's rapturous screams deafen you. But all you can see is Marvis, approaching you, ringed in otherworldly light. His back is to the crowd. So you are the only one who can see his face like this. Intense, focused, merciless. Right? Gaze meant only for you. You've never felt more special. He steps up before you face to face. You stare into his eyes, enthralled. Such clear eyes, so potent and beautiful. Your only regret is that you can't gaze into them for longer. Marvis takes hold of his cane and in a fluid motion draws out its rapier-sharp hidden blade. The metal glints 1,000 colors in the light of the stage, almost as awesome as he is. You hope he strikes true. Yours will be a magnificent death. But then, he winks. A fleeting moment of understanding passes between you. Could it be that Marvis is the friend you've been searching for after all? Oh, is it a fool's flight of fancy to dream so? He draws in close, rearing up as if to strike, and as he raises his blade, his jacket lifts up too, exposing his vulnerable clown pit. If you leaned in just now, maybe, just maybe you could... Well, which is it? Nope, you don't get to choose. I already chose. Take a whiff. You can't help yourself. You lean right into the clown's swampy armpit and breathe in deep. The scent is like nothing you've ever smelled before. It's like the thick flavor of ambrosia glazed over an ogre's musk. Wet teriyaki socks sprinkled with a seasoning of pure passion. Powerful, indomitable, and beyond intoxicating. You can't get it enough. You sniff and then you snuff, sucking as much of that hot, salty odor into your nostrils as possible. So delicious. The fresh bouquet of exertion brought about by hard, relentless work, freely flowing as the manifestation of his raw talent. You could just spend the rest of your life nestled into this jester's fragrant pit, which might be literally what happens. You hope he allows you the indulgence. Were you so bold, you might even take a hearty lick. Oh, how could it possibly taste if the smell alone is so wonderful? Would that you could suckle even a single drop of that sweet jester's hunky tang. Somebody actually wrote this. I am actually reading this. You imagine some poor Let's Player having to read every delectable sentence of these odoriferous paragraphs aloud, and get a little hot and bothered. But you aren't quite that brave. How's that for a look? Take in that look. Just that look. Okay. Aww. Alright, good night. Marvis brings down the blade. It sinks deep into the wood beside your neck. This was no accident. A jester so powerful surely would not miss. He's sparing your life. You're so humbled that your bladder evacuates on the spot. Your urine is as hot on your legs as Marvis's gaze is on your face. You really wish that you'd thought to bring your concert diaper. Marvis gives you a look and then glances pointedly to his cane sword. You take the hint and make an exaggerated reaction like you've just been stabbed for real. You grab at your neck, sputtering, flailing. The high bloods right at the front can tell you haven't really been stabbed, and they're a little disappointed, but it's not as clear to the trolls further back. Somewhere around the mass of teal bloods, the illusion really hits home. They start going fucking bonkers back there. The apeshit wave travels back to the burgundies and then ricochets back home to the high bloods. You crack one eye open as you play dead. This time it's nothing like the controlled moshing during the performance. This is pure anarchy. A whirlwind of death and brutality. Trolls are at each other's throats, literally ripping each other apart with fang and claw. All the blood spraying into the air makes the humidity really skyrocket. At some point, when the racket becomes less than melodic, the clowns all come out for a final encore to drown out the sounds of the screaming. They start wrapping up a real storm. After about 45 seconds, a full 2/3 of the crowd are completely dead on the ground. Performance finally ends once every single troll in the crowd has collapsed either from death or exhaustion. Only once the audience has worn itself out do the clowns call it quits. They all start filing backstage, but for Marvis, who stops to take you down from the cross. Your beloved clown cradles you in his arms like the Pieta, gently petting your blood-splattered face. You hanging in there, fam? You tell him that yes, while continuing to play dead. You don't want to foil his ruse. Okay, gravy. Hi. He picks you back up and carries you off the stage. The clowns have a little green room set up in the backstage venue where they're all mixing and relaxing after the show. Nobody seems concerned to see Marvis carrying in a 90% dead alien, or particularly rattled after witnessing thousands of trolls savagely cannibalize each other. Either. Hey, you want a Sandy? What? Sando? Sorry? Grub bread. You say, yeah, sure, you're pretty hungry. Marvis drops you off on a couch and you lounge indulgently as you wait for him to walk to the catering table and pick you something up. He's back quickly. Think you can move your arms or anything, buddy? You say not really. You're pretty sure all of your bones are basically obliterated. Oh, shiz. That's rough. Sorry, man. Guess that's my fault. Lol. Okay, say, ah. You don't even question it. You obey him unthinkingly. Ah. You nearly choke when he kneels beside you and starts pressing broken off pieces of grub sandwich past your trembling lips. Tears well up at the corners of your eyes. How could someone like you be so lucky to touch and be held by the closest thing on this mortal plane to a god? You're sure there are thousands, millions of trolls out there who would die to experience anything like this. It's humbling. What did you do to deserve this? You're so weak from the concert that even moving your jaw is hard, and your star-stricken sobbing doesn't help either. Whenever a sloppy bit of grub paste filling dribbles down your chin, Marvis is right there to catch it and shove it back into your eager maw. He makes unyielding eye contact with you as he allows you to suck the maggoty meal from his fingers. You tell him he's beautiful. A lot of people say that. I don't know about all that, though. I'm just a humble rhyme juggler with a lot of cash money and 10 guys filming what I'm doing right now. When you're finished eating your sandwich, Marvis kindly wipes all the mess off your face. He's so gracious, you can't believe it. You're so glad that camera crew is here to capture all of this so you can watch it and relive the experience of receiving his kindness again later. You guess you need an answer to the question, why did Marvis decide to save you? Marvis takes a moment to think on it. Well, I guess I saw the guy you was with. I guess I saw the guy you was with. Hey there. And I was like, shit. What a sorry motherfucker. You ain't that. You know that buddy be bad news, fam, lol. What, Zebra? No way. Zebra's your friend. All of your friends are cool. Welcome to the stream, by the way. Clown titties. Damn, cuz that's raw. You okay? You sick? You real friends with that ding dong? You know he blacklisted all the fucking way out to And Clown Town. What? Really? Why? He's just a social climber, man. That big blue buddy be a mo fucking parasite. He's blacklisted by all clowns? He doesn't seem to know that. But we ain't about to go and tell his chatty ass. Gonna go and write a wicked nasty review about my business. So we be looking out for ourselves. Us clowns real close-knit, you know? Take care of each other and all that shiz. You feel me? You know, if you think about it, clowns really are the most disprivileged socio-economic class. Ugh. He had to go and say that. He had to go and say that. You've thought about that, and it's making more and more sense recently. You'd love to engage in nuanced discourse with him about clown privilege or lack thereof. Yeah, 'cause though we nominally occupy a position of structural power in the institutional hierarchy of the hemo spectrum, we be subjugating it into dampening our powers like no other. Because the agents of the Empress and her abyssal hierarchy know that the unimpeded strength of me and my sick nasty buddies would easily unseat sea dwellers as dominant caste. And if purple bloods be objectively superior to violet in every metric of strength, power, and influence despite chromatically preceding them, and the only reason we don't rise up and rip the fins off their slimy little faces is in eternities of religious persecution and culturally immutable precedent. What does that say about the validity of the rest of the system? Consider your mind thoroughly blown. Wow, this guy is incredibly woke. Not the least bit racist at all. You're really inspired by how good he is as both an artist and a man. Damn straight. Maybe all this spectrum needs is a little chaos to shake things up. Really makes you fucking think, you hear me? God, you do hear him. It makes so much sense. He makes so much sense. You make so much sense. Together. Marvis smiles at you as you hold his hands. You don't want to let go. You're afraid you'll never see him again if you do. You're not sure you can live like that. Maybe you can always be by his side. Maybe you can't be always by his side, but maybe sometimes. Occasionally. All you want is to make a friend. Of course, little buddy, I'll be your friend. Of course I'll be your buddy. Here, why don't you add me on Chitter? Next time that's a show, maybe I'll hook you up with some wicked tickets. V-I-fucking-P-B. Rust Emperors represent. Make sure to check out my link in my bio for merch if you're interested. Promise fills you with so much hope and light and joy, you can't believe it. You did it! You've made the greatest, most ultimate friend of them all, your shining light. Your reason for being. Marvis, the truest buddy you've ever had. True buds. Alright. Let's check the friend roster. We got... Let's see, that was... Alright, Graveyard Shift. You had a strange sense of deja vu. Pit Stop. You just couldn't resist, could you? VIP. You got to meet him. Your clown. And let's check the credits. Writers today. Are you? There you are. Geezy wrote for Fozzer, and V wrote for Marvis. Fantastic job. Kim Quach was our character artist today. And our colorist. No. Background artist was CJ Walker. Fantastic job. And CJ Walker also did the ending illustrations. Yeah, and our music. James Roach. Right? Yes? Yes. Did Fozzer's theme, Graveyard Shift, play the route, and then tweet at Amestron about how good this title is. Okay. And James Roach and Toby Fox wrote Marvis's theme, Clownfucker. Alright. And this is it. This is Kit. Thank you for joining me or for watching the VOD on YouTube. Whenever I put this up there, I'll put it up there eventually. This stream was a mess. I loved it. Thanks for joining me. And as a reminder, I will type out my YouTube handle, which is Fayechild. FAYECHILDE. There we go. Alright. Get some sleep. Shenanigans tomorrow. Have a good one. Thanks for joining me all.